Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video I will discuss the pay gap, the unequal pay between the men and the women according to some studies, which I think they're very easy to debunk. Why? Ignoring facts and just picking what you like and putting it in a study, that's not a study. So I will use an article here from yesterday, where I'm going to show you how these guys, the promoters of equal pay, which I'm for it, equal pay for the same work, the same output. I'm for it. I'm for it. Also, it matters the circumstances, but we're going to discuss this. So what do we have here? You know, they all tell you that the men are paid more than women, and therefore I don't understand why men would just be fired and hire women. From a financial perspective, that would be advantageous. That's the first claim. I mean, if you work and you work the same way as good as this guy right here, but I pay you less, obviously I fire you. It's just, I mean, it makes sense. So that's the first one. The second one, we are told that that's a gap. Yes, there's a gap, but the gap is because some work longer hours, some work overtime, some take more leave, some take more vacations, and some get pregnant. Therefore, they have a gap in their, let's say, 25-year work span. I'm just saying 25 years, being nice. Could be more, obviously. So let's say 30, 35. If you take, I don't know, you have 3 children, you take a leave with, I would say at least a year. All right, and then obviously you lose promotions and other because of that. If you take more vacations, and the studies show that some take more vacations than others, obviously you're going to increase the gap. If you just take the end, you say, yeah, these guys are paying more. But do they work more? Do they put more hours? Do they take less vacations? They don't put that in their studies. So let me show you here when things are a little bit reversed. This is according to the New York Daily News. Highest earning New York Police Department cop with overtime fueled 400,000 salary retires following news expose. So this person right here, she worked hard, long hours, overtime, and she racked $400,000 in a year. Good for her. Good for her. Now, she earned the highest New York Police Department. So the other people in the department should claim the same amount, or say, wait a minute, buddy, did you work overtime? Well, let me show you how much she claimed she worked overtime. And New York Police Department lieutenant in police headquarters who earned more than $400,000 last year has put in her retirement papers following a report by the Daily News noting she claimed to have worked more than 1,600 hours of overtime for a hefty sum of $204,000. So that means she worked a lot of extra hours, therefore she got this for the extra hours. What can you do? Lieutenant Special Assignment Quathisha Epps. Oh, it is not the Epps guy that we know from January 6th. With a salary of $406,515, was the highest earning cop. Well, this is disparity. This is the gap between the man and female. Anybody? I'm listening. No, Emil, no. Did you hear what she did? Did you hear what she did? She worked 1,600 hours of overtime. Therefore, she's okay with that. Now, they're going to go with this article, not to the primary issue. They're going to go to the secondary issue. Oh my God. Not that, hey, wait a minute. Where's the gap? Oh, overtime. Oh, okay. How about we include that in the research? They will go to the secondary one and say, well, maybe she didn't work 1,600 hours. That's a secondary issue. The primary is a different one. Now, she retires. Now, if she made anything illegal, not that you retire, you get indicted, charged, and convicted if the evidence shows that you did something illegal. Now, my point in this one is that if you work overtime, you can be the highest, if you're allowed, highest earner in your department. Now, if I am considered, let's say I work the hardest with 1,600, let's say this person here, If Quathisha worked this much, let's say I work for a New York Police Department and I don't put 1,600 hours. I don't work overtime. Should I say that I demand equal pay? Of course not. She worked much harder and longer hours than I did. So therefore she should be. Now if you have about 50 women doing that and 50 men doing like I did, and then you calculate on the incomes, the annual incomes of these guys, the revenue, let's say in the New York Police Department, you're going to find a gap. You say, oh, women are paid much more than the men. But you have to put what I just said. Extra time, overtime, all that. Vacations, and not vacations, sick time, whatever you took. Now, my friend, you can say, well, vacations are paid, Emil. It's true. Well, maybe you got pregnant about 5 times with, I don't know, 5 different men. I'm just saying. Anyway, I worked in the system. I know exactly how things work, but not exactly, but I have a... Now, this is one aspect of the pay, so-called the pay gap. Now, I'm all for you do this job here, right? You should be paid, right? And the man does the same job, the same amount should be paid the same way. Now, I have a question. I know you don't watch porn or anything like that. All right, so since you don't watch porn, I will tell you that many people do that. Did I break the news here? No. Okay, I know that female adult entertainers or actors, actress make more money than the male. And the male, believe me, works much harder than the female. So why is that? Well, it's because of the audience. The audience comes more for her, it seems like, than for him. So again, it's the same job they do over there, the same job. He works definitely harder than she does, but the audience comes for her. Therefore, if you remove her out, there's going to be less audience. The same with other things. So you can be a tennis player or a basketball player, right? Let's say women's NBA and men, right? Basketball, NBA, blah, blah, blah. Why are they paid differently? Because other people and more people want to watch that than that. Is the product. They work in the same field. Now, a basketball player in the United States of America is paid, let's say, according to the contract they agree with, they negotiate. It's not the same thing, let's say, in Romania or Albania or China. So it's not going to be like the communist. I lived under the communist system, and that's the way it was. Are you a basketball player in Romania? 2,000 lei. Everyone, no overtime. That's it. You work overtime, but you are not paid. That's the way it was over there. You work as an engineer, let's say an electrical engineer, this would be the gap, very close. I mean, it's not going to be like 2,000 lei. It's going to be between 2,000 and 2,100, based on your seniority and so on. But that's it. The gap was it was not exact the same amount, a little bit variation, but a doctor, let's say 5,000 lei. About 5,000. It was 4,800, I'm just saying, plus other things. But it depended what kind of doctor you were. The differences, I'm saying, they were very, very small. That was in the communist times. Were they better than we were? Were they more ethical than we were? Now you can say, well, ethics doesn't matter if you're communist and you're capitalist. I agree with that. But if I hire someone to work on my house, let's say build a house, and I have someone who nails, I don't know, 5 nails a minute, and someone does 20,000, who should I pay more? I don't care if there's a baboon or there's a monkey or there's a whatever bottom feeder. I don't care. All I care is how much output you put over there. How much? You do this amount of work, I'm going to pay you for that. If you come and do the same job for this, I will pay you for this. Or maybe I'm going to negotiate with you. And you are free to choose. Remember, where's that free to choose? I think that's the one it is. Yeah, free to choose. Right? Yeah, that's a good Milton Friedman Stein. Right? You're free to choose, man. You just go. Go somewhere else and you negotiate. You say, I can do this better than those guys. And then you see. And you, if you don't find anybody to pay for this much, you start your own thing if you're that good. Or you say you can't. Well, some people fail, some people succeed. We all fail and succeed. We can't always win or always lose unless we have a certain mentality. So my friends, my point here is the equal pay for the equal job. And that is, not that I'm, let's say, I work with these guys, okay, and you work in the same office, you have the same titles, right, let's say, and you're a man, she's a woman, or vice versa, whatever you find in office, and you see who's working harder than others. And you say, wait a minute, we're paid the same, but you work much, much less, regardless who that is. Is that fair? I don't think that's fair. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So I want to be paid $406,515 a year. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.